Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Philip here, coming to you from Chiang Mai in northern Thailand at our family tea tree house, and it's beautiful today. June is a great month in Thailand. Relatively few tourists, beautiful weather. It's cooled down from the summer heat of March, April and May. It's cooled down. It's like pre-rainy season, so there's bits of rain but nothing much. And beautiful blue skies, sensational cloudscapes, lovely clean fresh air, and it's just stunning. And all the, as much as I enjoy it, all the birds seem to enjoy it, and the lizards are out, and butterflies, and all kinds of nature's going on. A stunning time to be in northern Thailand, and in fact I've had the whole month of June 2 times in 2 different years down south in Koh Phangan. And the weather was sensational there as well, so I suspect it's the same all over the kingdom. So this is today's chapter 3 in my series of reading out food for thoughts from my book, which is called Menu for a Spiritual Revolution: Health, Harmony and Happiness. It's the total guide to your self-empowerment and transformation, and the book guides you into learning just who you are. Just how the web of life out there works, and how you and the web of life are intimately interconnected. We're not disconnected, and when we understand that, so much of our stress and our inner angst just melts away. Go and hug a tree. So the food for thought. So what I do now is I read out the food for thoughts at the beginning of each chapter, and then I invite you to pause the video and to reflect on the food for thought yourself for a couple of minutes. And then when you're ready, you can press play and come back and listen to what my thoughts are. Now, in chapter 3, we've actually got 3 food for thoughts. As it happens, one of them is one that I quoted to you in the last one when I was talking. Doesn't matter. All useful information is worth repeating. Chapter 3 is called Who Am I? Who are you? And in this chapter I explore, okay, well, who are we? Who am I? Who are you? And if we are to live an optimal life, we do need to know who we are, and we're never taught. So here they are. The first one, there's 3 of them. First of 3. At any one time in our life, we are the sum total of all our previous experiences. We are a work in progress. Second one, observe others and learn about yourself. Observe yourself and learn about others. And number 3, this continues on from the ignorance that we mentioned in chapter 2. When we accept we carry ignorance, we begin to emerge from its darkness. When we learn for ourselves, we swiftly move into a beautiful energy field where love and light dance in the meadows, bringing joy to the heart and soul. Okay, so I'll invite you to pause and have a think, and I'll see you in a minute. You're back. Welcome back. The first one, at any one time in our life, we are the sum total of all our previous experiences. We are a work in progress. I wonder what I was thinking when I wrote that. I know what I'm thinking now. We all carry around with us in our psyche, and the psyche is like a word that basically means what's in our subconscious mind out of our normal sight. So it's there if we find it and look for it, but it's basically whirring away in the background. At any one time in our life, we are the sum total of all our previous experiences. We are a work in progress. In our psyche, we hold an identity of ourselves. We have a perception of who we are as a person. Obviously it begins with our name, and then we have our nationality, and then we have our gender, and then we have the age that we are, which interestingly changes. Unlike the other ones, and so there's all manner of things, and then it may be like, for example, for me, I have a tendency towards impatience, which comes from my birthday in late March, which makes me an Aries, which is a fire sign, So that makes sense. But by understanding it and knowing it, I can work on it and succumb to impatience less often. So the work in progress aspect, and we are the sum total of our, at any one time in life, we are the sum total of all our previous experiences. This is saying that every time you have a new experience, you change to some degree. And you may have thought this before, when you paused the video and thought yourself, but this makes perfect, logical, evolutionary sense. Not least that when you're 1 year old, you're not really quite the same as you are when you were 10, or when you're 20, or when you're 30, 50, 70, 80, and nearly passing on to the next world. Clearly we're not the same. But nevertheless, in our psyche, we hold this identity of who we are. And when somebody says something to us that appears to be negative towards or attack our self-perceived identity, we get all defensive. And therein becomes a conflict and an argument. And it's because we are defending our subconscious idea of who we are. But if every experience has an impact on us and just changes us this little bit or quite a lot, if it's a big experience, then when somebody comes along and is apparently negative towards us, gives us a great opportunity to actually sit down and reflect and without getting defensive towards them, perhaps engage in a discussion with them. And then we learn a little bit more about ourselves, about them, about the world, and now we have indeed changed. So what we're doing here is we're recognizing that it seems to be that carrying a sense of ourselves having a fixed identity can cause us problems, and it shuts us down to the new. Now I know, because as a traveller and a teacher, that I come across new experiences all the time. I came to Thailand in 1991 thinking I was coming for a few months for a big travel adventure, and I ended up accidentally emigrating and discovering that I loved teaching adults, which hitherto I had no idea about. And so that was a big experience and had a big impact on me and has led to changes in me. Now, the more experiences you have, the more you get out in the world, the more you talk to more different kinds of people, and the more, even in the online world, the more you read, the more you engage with people in social media. I don't spend time with the negative ones, but if people are being critical and it's worth listening to and reflecting upon, that's a different matter. But basically, every time we have new experiences, we learn something new and we evolve. And I may still be Philip Kay, and I'm English and blah blah blah, and I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm this and that and the other. But that's by the by. That's just fixed stuff. And the whole thing about life is that life is constantly fluid. It's constantly changing. So why do we want to hold on to this fixed idea of our identity? It only causes grief. Observe others and learn about yourself. Observe yourself and learn about others. This is one of mine, and I absolutely love it. I really do, because I love observation. Observation is not judgment. As soon as you start judging somebody to be bad or good, right or wrong, to be liked or disliked, to be attacked or praised, you've lost the observation. You're in judgment mode, which comes from our past. We judge based on information and understandings from the past. Usually culturally connected as well. So observation is merely seeing or hearing or tasting or smelling or using your sensory organs to allow what's happening to come into your mind and to see it in its raw state without us applying filters of any kind of judgment towards it. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday I was on the motorbike. I'd gone out to get down the back lanes, which is beautiful here. It's a lovely little journey, and I go slowly because it's just the nature and everything's beautiful. And I go and get my bread, beautiful bread made by a French bakery. And as I was coming back, I was on my motorbike and just really enjoying everything and going slowly, and suddenly this butterfly's flying with me. It's literally coming along for the ride almost. and it's with me for, I don't know, 50 meters or whatever. And it was literally with me for every second of the way. And then I looked down and I was doing 20 kilometers an hour. So I now can confirm to you, without any shadow of doubt, that a butterfly can fly at least 20 kilometers per hour. And look, in the past, I've observed butterflies in my hammock. I've observed them, and they're very light beings, but they're very agile, and they seem to bomb along at the rate of knots. And I reckon they can go faster. But I know that they can go at 20 kilometers an hour. Now that's what I observed. And then I can think whether it's good or interesting or whatever, but that was my observation. And so that's what I learned. But obviously the quote refers usually to other people. And I'm not going to say much more about it, because I think that you should go and observe others. And when you sit down, and what's happening is, when you're observing, I will say this, when you're observing and not judging, you are in the moment now. You are in the space, the only space where life ever takes place, which is now. Life is now, forever reinventing itself. Every split second, or every today, or every hour, whatever time measurement you want. You know, you may think, oh, well, yeah, well, I'll do something tomorrow. But when you wake up in the morning, it's not tomorrow. It's a new today. Tomorrow is always one step ahead of you. You'll never get there. So when we're observing, what we're doing is we're connecting ourselves to the present moment. And that's where all the wisdom and all the truth and all the love and all the sense of freedom and the sense of inner peace, that's where all that lives. So if you want freedom and love and peace and camaraderie with your friends and families and family members and peers and so on, you need to be in the present moment. And observing puts us in that present moment. But in the act of observing, that's when we're truly learning. You know, we can learn academically by reading books, and we can learn by watching videos on YouTube and media and so on. And that's fine. That's learning from other people. But when you sit still and you observe in a busy place, or you observe the nature, or your children or your wife or your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend is saying something to you, and and you can see them getting angry or whatever, observe them getting angry, and don't make it worse. Just observe them getting angry and realize that this is what you do as well. Might not be a good realization, but this is how we shine light onto the darkness. When we accept we carry ignorance, we begin to emerge from its darkness. When we learn for ourselves, we swiftly move into a beautiful energy field where love and light dance in the meadows, bringing joy to the heart and soul. The school systems made us much more ignorant than we should be. In fact, they made us ignorant. Because if you embark upon the path of observing and reflecting and learning, you're no longer ignorant. You may not know something, but you're not staying stuck. Ignorance is a state of being, and it's what we were conditioned to be by our schooling, and then we don't really make any effort or we don't understand that we can overcome it. So what I'm saying to you is that pretty much 99% or so of children during their school system are conditioned into this ignorance, and then you either remain ignorant during your adulthood, or you undo that. And the moment you accept that you're ignorant, because this is not a nice thought to say that I am ignorant, but the moment you accept that, well, it doesn't sit comfortably. I don't want to be ignorant. And so you start learning, you start observing the world, and you start reading and seeking out self-development videos and all kinds of things, and you start learning from other people, and you learn from yourself. I spoke in the previous chapter about meditating and taking time and space out regularly to sit still with yourself and just to reflect on life and to see what happens. So yeah, that's chapter 3 for you. I think we'll call it a day there. I'll be back with chapter 4 next time. If you like my channel, do please subscribe and help me build a channel. If you like the sound of this book, then there's a link below and in that link it'll take you to a free audio file, which is me reading out the preface to the book, which is a 17-minute file, and then you get chapter 1 to read as well, and it lists all the contents and a few testimonials and photos. And then if you like it, get the book. If not, if you want to learn more, tune into the next one. We'll be back with chapter 4 next time. I bid you a fantastic day. Bye bye.